Welcome to the Redirect Podcast. My name is Abigail Hewins.
And I'm Emily Rojas. The Redirect Podcast is a show where we shift the conversation back to books. We discuss themes from some of our favorite books and how those themes show up in real lived experiences.
On today's episode, we're back for another book talk episode where we talk about books.
But first, if you enjoy the podcast, we would humbly ask that you support us in just a few simple ways. If you haven't already heard our cries at the beginning of every episode, then go do it right now. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and that lets us know how much you're loving the show.
We would also love for you to follow and engage with us on Instagram at Redirect Podcast. And finally, if you're really, really loving the show, please share it with a friend. Some of my favorite podcasts, actually one of Emily and I's favorite podcasts, we both listened to because it was shared to us by a friend.
Yeah, and you shared it to me.
Yeah. so share it with a friend. Yes. Sharing our show with Sharing our show with a friend is the best way to help us grow our community of book loving nerds.
Oh gosh, and we're here to talk about, you guessed it, books.
Books. Well, so really, this is kind of like, it's just kind of shaken out nicely this year that like once a quarter, we talk about, we just kind of catch up. Yeah. And it's like a catch-all where we don't have...
There's no topic. There's no theme. We're just talking books.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's helpful because it kind of keeps us up on our current events and not get so bogged down by the outline, and it'll be a lot of fun.
And sometimes there's things to talk about. I mean, like today, I think there's much to discuss.
There is. I needed one of these.
Me too. So... It's a great episode. I would really encourage you. I think the book talk episodes are some of my favorites. So if you're newer to the podcast or you haven't listened to it, I would go back and listen to the other ones. We talked about the Song of Achilles in one. We talked about some Bookstagram review drama in another. So I would really, go check those out and then also come back and listen to this one. But they're definitely some of my favorites. They're always really fun. So yeah, I'm glad we're back with another one.
And it's fun to be able to have enough episodes to say, oh, those are always fun.
I know.
Because as we're sitting down to record this podcast, we are realizing we're about a year into this thing.
Yeah, it's about, I mean, on my time hop is coming up, my photos from when I came to visit you in Los Angeles last year, and that is when we recorded. We bought our little headsets, so yeah, if you listen to our previous episodes and you hear not as good sound quality, we bought some $15 headsets at Target while we were in LA.
You're saying that in the episode where my AC is featured prominently.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe you won't hear it as much by the time we get it. But it is what it is. We still struggle. We're not perfect. But yeah, we bought our headphones. We recorded. I was deathly sick.
Yeah, if you go and listen to our first episode, you can kind of tell you've got some nasal going on.
I know. I was trying to mute myself to blow my nose every few minutes, but... we did it. And it's crazy. I don't know. I'm not really someone who sticks to things, just to be honest. I kind of start hobbies sometimes and then abandon them. So yeah, I'm amazed that we've done this for a year and that we're continuing to grow and coming up with new ideas.
It's been really fun that we haven't run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
I feel like we're improving. I
agree.
We're building a little community. People are enjoying it. I'm having a blast.
Yeah, it's really fun just to talk about books. Honestly.
Totally.
I will shout out, I did the Popcast, which is our other podcast, if you want to expand your horizons, that we really enjoy. I did the birthday gift exchange. And so I have a gift exchange pal. And we were going back and forth talking, and she asked about the podcast, and so I was telling her about it, and she was saying, like, I just want to talk about books. I'm reading all these books, and I have no one to talk about it with. So it is kind of nice, even if no one listened, to get on here and talk about the books I'm reading is so fun. I would keep doing it, even if we had no listeners,
But we do. Some of you are listening. So
Thank you guys for being here.
And now we'll talk about actual stuff and not just ourselves.
We're just reflecting because... I think it's amazing that we made it to a year of this and that you're here listening to us, whoever you are. So thank you for being here. And
help us celebrate a year of the Redirect Podcast by sharing our show with a friend. Sharing our show with a friend is the best way to to grow our community of book loving.
No, you didn't hit rewind. That's just we want to remind you. All right. So enough of that nonsense. How's it going with your reading journey this year? And we're almost to the end. I mean, we're in the last, I don't know. I'm not a finance bro, but are we in the last quarter of the year?
We are. And I'm also not, like a financial quarters person. But like recently at my real job, we had a, last quarter of the year planning meeting where we plan stuff out through December. And it's like when you take in like, the holiday breaks and like, I mean, things are really coming up
fast.
Quickly. So if you didn't listen to our annual goals episode where we discuss like what we're trying to do this year, I didn't set a number goal for myself. Although I'm really pleased with the number of books I've read so far.
Maybe you should have set a number goal.
Yeah. Let's see.
And maybe I shouldn't have is really the TLDR of this section.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many books have you read so far this year?
89.
Oh my gosh. That is incredible.
And you know why? I think it's because I honestly think it's because I didn't set a number goal.
Yeah.
For me mentally. But
yeah. There's no pressure. So then it's just fun. You're not trying to compete with anyone. You're just doing your thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I read 89 books. But my goals actually were, I had a few. So one was to read more fantasy.
Yes.
Which I'm happy with myself. I have done. I mean, I think it still ranks pretty low on, like, at the end of the year, I'll do like a post with like my analytics, but I think it's pretty low. But one thing I've learned about fantasy and the ways that I like it are, if you don't have to jump straight into like the super complicated high fantasy stuff. You can start with a book like Fourth Wing, which I plan to talk about later in this episode because I recently finished it.
Preview.
Without a lot of spoilers because I know you're waiting on it. But like that has some sort of reference point that's grounded in like the real world so that you can kind of get into it more and not everything is foreign. So like there are levels to it.
That definitely helps.
And then another one of my goals was to read through a series. So I think I basically did that with Bridgerton. So yeah, I did it. I read all the Bridgerton books. So yeah, my goals are coming along.
You're really crushing your goals this year. Congratulations. Round of applause.
Thank you. How are your goals going?
You don't have to, have a little laugh in there. Not great. I'll be honest. This year has not been like the best. For me and I would just say my free time, my energy, not that it's been a horrible year or anything. It's just, there's been kind of one thing after another.
Yeah.
So, I'm normally a numbers goal person, and I've always, for the past 3 years, met my goals, since I've started
exceeded them
since I've started kind of being more invested in my reading. So it was a hard pill to swallow at first. Now I've read 43 books this year, so that's about half.
Still really great.
It's still good. I'm kind of shooting for 50. I know I can at least get 50. And this latter half of the year, I've been reading a lot more than I did at the beginning. So who knows? My goal was originally, I think I set it at 90, and I was hoping to make it to 100. That's not going to happen. But 43, I feel very reasonable about that. I feel if I get to 50. That was my original goal when I first started my reading journey a couple years ago, was just reading about 50 books because I figure, you can at least do one book a week. Then you have some leeway in there. So I feel like if I get back to 50, I'll feel good. But my other goal was to do the Storygraph Reads Around the World challenge, which I have completed 0 books on that. I do own several. I bought them, but this was my mistake. All the ones I bought at the beginning of the year with high hopes for myself are majorly sad. So I really was not vibing with that.
Yeah.
So anyways, now I have started one of them. I'm getting my way through it. So I hope to be able to talk about that by our next episode. And even if I don't if there's 8 countries, I think, in the challenge. So if you missed our very beginning of the year episode, the challenge was hosted by a Storygraph app, which I really like. And it encouraged people to pick, there's 10 countries actually, pick a book written by an author who's from that country or a book that's kind of set in that country, normally both. So I picked out several. I picked out, which I'm really excited about reading. I need to get on it. I picked out The Miracle in the Andes, which is about the rugby team that survived the plane crash. It's by one of the survivors. And so I'm really excited to read that. The book I'm reading right now is by a Syrian author. So I'm excited. I hope the latter half of the year, I will hope to get through at least some of those, even if I don't make it through all 10. I think it was a good goal, and I really would encourage people to focus on it because, you know, American authors, that's pretty much all you read. Even though I try to at least read diverse American authors, it's rare to read, you know, books in translation or books by authors from other countries. So I think it's a good challenge to give yourself, even if, you know, it's not this exact one. So I'm hoping to make it, you know, at least if I get through 3, 4, or 5 of those books by the end of the year, I'll feel like I accomplished what I was intending to do, which is just kind of diversify my bookshelf a little more.
Goals are meant to be aspirational, but also, like, I think sometimes we can get into, like, why are we, like, performance analyzing our hobbies, you know? Like,
exactly.
Just, you know, just maybe enjoy and maybe take the pressure off a little bit. Like, it's okay if you don't meet your goals.
Well,
and
the thing about goals is you set them on January 1st when you're feeling great. You know, at least for me, I do all my reading over the holidays. Not all, but, you know, for Thanksgiving, I go to the beach with my family, and from then on, I try to read a ton of books while I'm at the beach, and then Christmas break, you know, I'm off work, I'm reading a ton of books at that time too. So I set these goals in an aspirational place at the beginning of the year, and that's the same thing with any goal, you know, New Year's resolutions we make. And then you don't know what the year ahead of you is gonna bring. So
June you is not January. Year.
No, it's not. So
it is not.
Yeah, but that's okay. But I still feel good. 43 books. I feel really good about that, honestly.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. And if you're listening to this and you've read one book this year,
again,
you are a reader.
Valid.
You know?
Yes, absolutely.
I think they're like in the Bookstagram world, book talk, like there's like some, you know, toxic things about like, how many books have you read or how many hardcovers do you own? And like, show me your giant bookshelf filled with your color coded thing. And I'm like, honestly, I have like 12 books on my shelf. Like I don't own books really. Like, and I've read 89 this year. Like there's no right way to enjoy books. You can not even know how to read and enjoy this podcast.
Yes.
So,
and yeah, that's such a good point. 90% of the books I've read this year, at least, have been from the library, on Libby, either an audiobook or an ebook I've checked out from them. I mean, yeah, you don't have to buy books. You don't have to read a ton of books to be valid and to enjoy reading. So we're glad you're here no matter what your reading journey is. Exactly. Or you could have read 150 books this year already, and you're better than us, and we still welcome you here. Thank you for settling among us mid-level plebes. Yeah.
I'm really hoping I'm feeling really good about making it over 100 for this year.
I think you will. I feel like you definitely will.
I think I'll make it over 100 by next month because I've been averaging 8 to 12 per month.
Yeah, you're definitely going to make it.
So, Fourth Wing.
Yes.
You and I mean, what was it? Like maybe like a month ago, we texted and I was like, do we need to read Fourth Wing for the podcast? Because especially at that time, it was like every other thing on my feed was about Fourth Wing. And I honestly had this feeling of like, oh no, this is so overhyped. Like, I'm sure that it can't be good. It was good.
Wow.
It was actually good. And it was good, in my opinion, in a way that like I started slowing down because I wanted it to last longer.
Wow.
I know. So, and I know that this is currently on your hold shelf, so I won't go into much detail at all. Me. We'll talk about it more in depth after you've read it.
Oh, absolutely.
But just
could be months from now, just to be clear.
Yeah.
To be clear.
I went in with very little context, actually almost none, except for that this is a viral book on Bookstagram and Book Talk. And it's basically, this is how I described it to my book club on Sunday, because it turns out we're going to read it for September.
Well, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, well, I recommended it. It is sexy Hogwarts with dragons.
Okay.
It's not, I don't think it's really young adult, but I think what helps you get into like the fantasy world of it all is that it's kind of set at this like military academy.
Okay.
So there's context for like, okay, it's like you're at college or whatever. Like there are freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors effectively.
Yeah.
So I think that part makes it more understandable. There's a love triangle.
But of course.
It was really good. I'm
so interested to read it because ever since, well, obviously it's just I'm noticing it more since we've been talking about it, I guess, or since you've been reading it. But ever since we've been talking about this, I feel like I've seen it so much on my TikTok feed, and I have seen such polarizing opinions. People who absolutely hate it and people who absolutely love it. So I'm just so interested to see what I will feel about it.
Well, you know what? That's honestly how I feel about A Court of Thorns and Roses and Mist and Fury.
Yes.
Like, people all over my social media are so obsessed with that series, and I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I think it's totally honestly another one that has lots of polarizing opinions is Song of Achilles. Yes. Since we've read it and I started mentioning it to people, like 75% of the people I mentioned to are like, oh my God, I love that book so much.
Yes.
And the rest are like, I hated it. I thought it was so boring. And I think both opinions are valid.
Yeah. Agreed.
Good books probably are polarizing. But.
Well, and I think too, when a book becomes so popular on Book Talk or Instagram, whatever, it brings out the polarizing because you have to almost be so counter the narrative of it's so popular. So then if you didn't like it, it's almost like
you have to prove
to double down on it. So I think that probably is why it brings out such polarizing opinions. But yeah, I've definitely seen several of the people I follow whose opinions I really trust not like it. And then I've seen so many people raving about it too. So I don't really know what I'm going to feel, but I'm open either way. Because I've seen both equally, I feel like, Yeah,
no pressure to you to feel either way, because if you don't like it, we can have like an interesting conversation about it.
Yes.
So I can't wait for you to read it. And if anyone else wants to talk to me about it in the meantime, go ahead. You know where to DM us. Would be happy to chat.
Yes, I will say I am. Let me tell you what I am in line. I am 169th in line. I started at 376th. And there are 34 copies with 17 people waiting per copy. So
all right, you're not going to be that much longer.
No, it won't be that much because people, they skip over it. So we'll see.
And
it'll come fast. It says about 10 weeks, but I'm sure it'll be less than that.
The sequel is coming out in November.
Oh gosh,
so
a sequel. Okay,
if
so
you
I gotta
could
get
read
on
it quickly. That would be good.
No pressure.
All right, Emily, what have you been reading recently?
Okay, I read a really good book. I think it goes hand in hand. Not really hand in hand, but it's kind of a similar, maybe 5 to the Fourth Wing. I don't know. It's called The Ferryman by Justin Cronin. And if you have been looking for something that will satisfy the hole left by Divergent, by The Hunger Games, by those dystopian books you read when you were younger, I think this book is for you. Because it's like an adult dystopian. It's definitely a grown-up dystopian. So The Ferryman takes place in this sort of dystopian future world, Earth, where all of the residents live on this island. And once they have little implants in their arms that tell them their percentage of health that they have left. And once they reach a certain level, a certain percentage, below whatever, 10, 15%, they are taken by a ferry, by a ferryman who takes them to another island, kind of across the sea, where they are refreshed and they're basically recycled into a new body, allegedly. And they come back as 16-year-olds. So there are no babies in this world. People don't procreate the normal way. They just go off and then they're returned. That's only the elite society. There's also an island near. It's kind of an island chain in this world. There's an island nearby that houses the kind of proletariat, the working class people who are the maids, the servants, the janitors, the workers of the society, really like the lowest level, and they live normal lives. They don't get to come back. They only live their one life. They have, it's everything we are now, but they're poor. They're kind of oppressed. It is so fascinating. All these weird things start happening. It follows the ferryman whose job it is to
And
take...
really quick, just for people who are not reading on our outline, it's ferry like Ferry, not like a ferry.
Yes, sorry. That's a good point. Ferry, yes. The ferry as in the boat that takes the people to this island to be refreshed. So it follows him. He kind of he's always been haunted by kind of dreams, which people in the society aren't supposed to dream. And his whole life, he's kind of had these really vivid dreams, and he kind of realizes that things are not all what they seem. He's trying to uncover it. It's super interesting. It's probably, in my opinion, a touch too long. And the end, it did start to lose me a little at the end, because I was like, okay, there's too many things.
It sounds like a
on.
book that could get long.
It is. But
that being said, I just put it on hold.
Yes. It definitely scratched that itch, though. I feel like I haven't in a long time read a dystopian book that really hit, the same way that The Hunger Games, Divergent, all those kind of books you read as a kid did. So this definitely hit the same. And I really
Emily,
liked
are
it.
you saying that The Circle by Dave Eggers didn't scratch that itch?
The Circle, honestly, I have beef with Dave Eggers, and if I ever see him, I will fight him on sight.
Why did you have to release such a disappointing sequel?
Honestly, yeah. If The Circle had been a standalone book, it probably would have, but reading the sequel ruined it for me. If you want to go read The Circle to scratch that itch, please, I beg of you, for the love of God, do not read its sequel. I don't care.
Just stop.
Just
and
Google
do not
it
read
if
the
you
sequel.
really want to know. It doesn't even provide any resolution. This is the problem with The Circle, and then I'll be done. The Circle leaves you with so many questions. You think, surely the sequel will answer it, but not at all. Not at all. So just don't even go there. Just leave it where it was and take it for what it was and move on. So that was the first book I've read recently that I really highly recommend. In my opinion, if you want that same vibe of your youth,
Yeah.
All right.
Love it.
What else have you read?
Okay. So literally minutes before recording this podcast, I finished Yellowface by R.F. Kuang.
Yes.
Okay. So you obviously, I'll keep this brief because you recommended this book on our last episode.
Yes.
But, one thing I wasn't expecting from this book that I loved was that I think there's a compelling case that this is a horror novel.
Yeah.
It's like horror, but also satire.
Yes.
And just the general sense of like cringe that like throughout the book you think I cannot feel more cringe. Yes. And then I went to the Goodreads page for this book, and a lot of the book centers around like an author's obsession with Goodreads reviews and how like there are people who are kind of tone deaf and like don't get it or they do get it or whatever. People have these fights online, and there are people who are leaving R.F. Kuang really hateful reviews on Goodreads, and I'm like, y'all literally missed the point of the book, but okay. But I think one thing that was just absolutely brilliant about it is, you know how they always say like nobody knows their oppressor, or like no one knows you as well as the person that you oppress, kind of thing. Like, Black people know white people so well because white people have been in this position of like institutional power and supremacy or whatever. Right. So I felt like that was like, she's writing as this Chinese or this Asian author, and she is putting into words so well, like what it's like to be kind of like a tone deaf, narcissistic white feminist. Yes. Yes. And it's just like, it's so artful and perfect. Yes. She killed it.
Yes, you're exactly right. There is this impending doom throughout the whole book that is like a horror movie, as if you're waiting for a monster to jump out at you. It feels that same way, except there's not a monster. It is just this kind of cringe situation, but it is kind of the same feeling of reading a horror novel for sure.
And that's why I would say it's like horror, not thriller. Yes. Because a thriller is like, there are mini climaxes or like there are twists. There's not twists. This is just a horror novel. Yes. But not in like a gory, gross, like I'm scared of monsters way. Just like in a real life.
Yes, in a very, very real way. To where you're also feeling kind of bad for the protagonist and then also horrified at yourself for feeling bad because what she's doing is so wrong. But then you start to get inside her head and in your mind, it's like you can kind of understand where she's coming from, but then it's this vicious cycle. So
mini spoiler. So if you want to miss this, skip ahead like 30 seconds. But one thing I thought was really great was at the end when she's like, I'll need to write a book about, you know, my perspective on all of it. And you're like, meta, this is the book, you know? I was like, I love when they do that.
Yes.
And I also love the like self-referential, like when they use the word yellow face, like in a sentence and you're like, roll credits.
Yes.
I just thought it was brilliant.
It was really good.
And you're like, what really happened in this book? I don't know, but the pacing was so good.
I know.
You're like, I'm like,
no plot, but
this shouldn't have good pacing. This should drag so bad.
Yes.
But it doesn't. It's just like, oh,
it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Yeah.
Oh,
for sure.
Anyways, 5 stars. I know we did not just make a compelling case talking about how like wretched it is to read it.
No, but you can't look away. You know, you can't look away.
It's so good. Like it's, and I was just doing a little research because I was not familiar with R.F. Kuang before this book. But this is her first non-fantasy novel.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, that's an amazing step into a way, like into a different genre.
Absolutely.
And to be so this good.
Absolutely.
Not out of the genre. So anyways, go read Yellowface.
Read it. Awesome.
Okay. Emily?
Another book I recently read which is a good palate cleanser. This is as if you want to watch a Hallmark movie, but in book form. It's called Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. I'm struggling to pronounce that last name, but my mom actually gave me this. So shout out mom, our faithful listener. But it follows a woman named Nora who is a screenwriter. She writes Hallmark Christmas movies, essentially. I mean, they're not called Hallmark Christmas movies, but you know what they are. So she kind of just churns them out. You know, she has a ritual, she plugs and plays, she makes a new plot, and she keeps rolling them out. That's enough to pay the bills, barely. But her husband, who is a piece of shit, sorry, bleeped, he leaves her and her 2 young children because he kind of sucks, and he comes from a wealthy family and hasn't achieved what he thought he was going to achieve in his life, and kind of blames Nora, even though she's literally the only reason they have food on the table. Mm-hmm. And they live in this small town on this like beautiful but small but quaint home. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he leaves her. She's kind of devastated for a while, and then she realizes it's for the best because he sucked, and she's better off without him. And she's happy and she's free, but she's a single mom now because he's off in China or something. And so she writes a script that she originally intended to just be kind of semi-based on her going through the divorce. In the Hallmark Christmas version, he would come back and they would reconcile, but she can't bring herself to write that ending. So she kind of really puts a lot of herself into it. If I've learned anything from the screenwriters' strike that's going on, this is not at all how it works. But so I wouldn't recommend this to Zach at all. But anyways, somehow her agent ends up selling this script for big money, but they want to come film some scenes at her actual house because she has this like guest house where she writes, and that's kind of the focal point of this big climax of the movie. And so they want to actually film it at her actual house. So of course, leading heartthrob, longtime single, never been tied down, I forget his name, actor, movie star, he comes to film and he's going through some things. And so he wants to stay. He asks her if he can stay in her guest house and kind of get away from the big city, watch the sunrise every morning. You see where this is going. They start to fall in love. And I will say, this is the miscommunication trope. So just know that. But I actually thought it was done really well because I normally am not a fan of that. I thought the way it's kind of flipped is a little more interesting. So, and I just thought it's kind of it's if you want to read a version of a Hallmark Christmas movie, it's that level of plot and writing. But
you're not going to get that stressed out.
Yeah, you're not going to get that stressed out. But I did think it actually did surprise me in a few places. It zigged when I thought I was going to zag. It's nice. It's kind of nice sometimes to read a romance with, you know, an older person, a mom. It's just a different perspective. A lot of times I feel like it is, you know, like red wine and royal blue when they're 21 or 22.
Totally.
But this felt really nice, you know, and I love the trope. Please send me all your recommendations when a celebrity falls in love with a real person. I love it.
The Bodyguard.
So, yes, The Bodyguard, anything like that. What's the other one? Rumor has it, I think. What is that called? No, Funny You Should Ask, which I know is another controversial one, but I really like that. So anything with a celeb falling in love with a normal person, I love it. Again, if you are an actual screenwriter, I don't recommend this. I'm pretty certain none of this is
trigger warning.
Some of her financial success, I am 100% positive is not reality. So I would just say that. But yeah, it was really nice. I literally read it in one day. It was like a Saturday. I picked it up. I just read the whole thing. It's pretty short. It's really cute. It's just nice. It's a good one. It's a good one to share with your mom. I feel like it's a good mom book. No disrespect to moms, but my mom did give it to me. I'm just saying I think it's a good mom book. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's another one I really liked.
I love that.
Thank you.
What a good palate cleanser from Yellowface.
Exactly. It's a great. I needed it because I read it right after I've read Yellowface recently. I read a really creepy one I talked about in our last episode, The Only One Left. I read The Ferryman. All of those were really dark and creepy.
Yeah.
This was a really great break from some of that
totally
heaviness, creepiness. Yeah.
Okay. Love that. Well, my next book that I'm going to share, I'm really torn to share it on this episode or to save it for our spooky season book draft part 2.
You should save it. Okay, no, go ahead.
I will have enough for the spooky season book draft. I have other things in the pipeline. And for people who are already, it's not 97 degrees at their house that don't live in Southern California, if you were already celebrating if you were already celebrating pumpkin season, this is a great transition book. So
yeah.
This is one of my favorite books of this year. Oh
wow.
my God.
Okay.
Okay. This is Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. So one thing that I've noticed, I just randomly have been reading a lot of British books this year, and this is one of them. Like, I think there's a lot of British thriller authors. Like, I don't know, but like most of the thrillers I've read this year are written by British people, but this is one of them. So this is the opening, like, few pages. There is the main character. God, what's her name? No, not this again. What's her name?
Her name is Jen.
Jen, thank you.
I'm looking at it right now because I'm putting it on hold.
Okay.
You said it was one of your favorites. I'm already.
You gotta read it.
I'm already sold.
All right, but that hasn't sold you, this will. So she is. It's like the day before Halloween. Great start. She's standing in like the window of her house, and it's like almost her teenage son's curfew, and she's watching him walk down the drive back up to the house, and she's like, oh good, he's gonna make curfew, whatever. When a man comes out of the woods and her son draws a knife and kills him.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Plot twist.
And that's like on page freaking 2. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sold.
All right.
Sold.
So she goes out there, she and her husband, and they're like, whatever, the cops come, the ambulance comes, the son goes to prison or goes to jail, and he's like, I don't want a lawyer, like, I'm guilty, I confess, all this stuff. And she's like, what? Like, stop, you shouldn't do that, whatever. So they go home, he stays at jail, she and her husband go home. And they wake up the next morning and she's like, all right, I'm stressed. I got to go game plan about like what we're going to do. And she wakes up the day before.
Oh my gosh. Wow. What a great book.
I know.
Okay.
So she keeps on waking up back in time and she's trying to solve the murder before it happens.
Oh my gosh.
And prevent it from happening.
Wow.
It's so good. Like,
okay. As soon as I looked it up on Libby, I realized I have seen this book a lot. So it's definitely.
I mean, it's not a hot take. I'm pretty sure it's like a Reese's book club.
Well,
like,
sure.
It has
a little sticker on it. Yeah, but
I mean,
I cannot.
How long is your wait on Libby? Because if it's too
lengthy.
long, just get it. Like,
You're right.
honestly, just buy it. It was so good. I honestly could not stop reading it. I was tearing through it. And the ending twist, honestly, didn't see it coming.
Oh, wow.
Like, gasp twist.
That's so rare.
And they're like, so there are multiple twists, like a good thriller.
Sure.
And they're evenly paced. But like, I felt like every twist came at the perfect place. And some of them I didn't guess. Like, it was honestly, it was so good. And it's a great, I mean, obviously, because she goes back in time, not all of it is at Halloween time, but it's a good dip into fall, like to kind of hold you over.
A starting place
until you get to like the real
spookies.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the pumpkin cream cold brew, you know, it's not the PSL, and it's still iced because it's literally been over 100 degrees here. It's 97 degrees where you are.
Yeah.
It's not fall. Let's be real, but it's a taste. It's what it gets you in the mood. I can't wait. I cannot wait to read this. I probably will buy it. Honestly,
yeah, please, like, read it so we can talk about it. I'm dying.
Okay.
So. All right. What's the last book?
Okay, my last one. Honestly, did I already talk about this on the pod, or did we just talk about it? That I finished Take a Hint, Danny Brown.
I think you said that you've read Get a Life, Chloe Brown.
Yes,
but I don't.
Well, let me just talk about it again. If you're hearing this,
because I told you, I think the last time we talked about it, I was like, you'll love Danny Brown even more.
I love Danny Brown even more.
It's so much better, isn't it?
It's so much better.
And you're like, how is that possible? Because Chloe Brown is 5 stars.
Chloe Brown is 5 stars.
How could it possibly get better? It is
12
better.
Stars. It is
better.
And I felt like, and I can't wait to read the third one, but I did feel like I related to Danny a lot more as a character. And so, you know, kind of she struggles. So, okay, Take a Hint, Danny Brown. Danny Brown, and it's been a while, so I apologize if I butcher any of this. It's been a couple weeks now. But Danny, she is a professor, aspiring academic, hardworking, career boss lady woman who kind of has written off love. She has all these rules for, you know, her one night stands. Essentially, they can't ever spend the night. They can't kind of do all these things. There's a lot of walls she has up, but she has this friend who's kind of a part-time security guard at the college, and he's so sensitive and you know, tragic backstory.
Literally the book boyfriend. I'm obsessed.
The book boyfriend. I have never read a better man in a book, honestly, ever.
I am obsessed.
And he's real. He has a tragic backstory. His brother was killed very tragically, and he kind of doesn't want to open his heart up again to being hurt, but he's obsessed with romance novels.
Oh my God.
So he's like a hopeless romantic, and she is walled off, and they're friends. Through a series of events, they end up kind of fake dating for publicity for his nonprofit that he runs, because he was a former professional rugby player.
Literally, give me fake dating. Give it to me.
Literally.
Every day.
So anyways, it's just, they're fake dating. They fall in love. What else do you need to know? I liked how Chloe Brown is still in it. And obviously Eve Brown is in it. So we'll read about her eventually. Yeah, like I loved that. I loved that it was a good connection to the former books. I just loved everything about it. I can't say it. You were absolutely right. I loved it way more than, and I loved Chloe Brown. So I definitely think read that. But if you are looking for the ideal romance novels, these are them. They are them.
They are so cozy.
They are
funny.
Yes.
Flirty.
Yes.
They are so good.
Yes. Paced well. So many times you read romance books and you're like, this is just, again, exactly like Nora with her screenwriting in the last book I talked about. People are just plugging and playing, and there's no real thought. It's just they pick 2 characters, they put the tropes.
These are original characters.
They all have so much depth. They are complicated, and
that's what it is. That's the difference, because sure, romance books rely on tropes. Like, there's only so many ways people can fall in love.
Yes.
But, like, these characters are original, and they're rich, and they're based, you can tell they are based off of identities that either Talia Hibbert, the author has, or people she knows, or experience. Like, they are real to life.
They're real. I feel like I really know these characters. I really do. I really feel like they could be my friends.
Her ability to write romance novels. I mean, to me, it's like she and Emily Henry have
They have a
Though
gift.
It's just like she's up there on that level, but I feel like she's obviously a lot less well known.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to support more women of color romance authors, like
Absolutely.
she is the
Talia
place to
Hibbert.
start. Yeah.
Start there and read them. And I can't wait for the third one. And yeah, it must be less well known because I didn't even have to wait at all to get this book. It was just available on Libby. So
yeah, please
definitely go
make it hard
her.
to get on Libby.
Yes, go support her. Support these books. If you're looking for the romance, I mean, this is top tier,
Chef's kiss.
in my opinion, top tier. So yeah, that's what I've read recently.
All right, so those are what we've been reading. That was a great lineup. I mean, really, I think maybe one of our best lineups for a long time.
I agree.
So I made a couple notes, just wanted to flag for everybody. Some upcoming releases I'm looking forward to in this fall, and I don't know if you have some as well. I'm really looking forward to the fourth installment of the fourth installment of the Thursday Murder Club series, The Last Devil to Die, which will be releasing on September 19th, which is just around the corner.
So soon. Great spooky season draft.
It's great.
Series.
It's funny. It's cute. I mean, we've talked this to death. So in our past episodes, I won't dwell on this series that much more, but it is a delight. And I already have it on a pre-hold on Libby for my library. And then I mentioned The Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, which is the follow-up to Fourth Wing.
Yes.
There's no V, just Fourth Wing. That releases in November. And I also have my eye out on a horror release by Rachel Harrison coming out on September 12th called Black Sheep. Every Family Has One.
Ooh,
so I'm looking forward to that.
That sounds good. Yeah, I just wrote down, are we going to read Millie Bobby Brown's book? Because that comes out in September.
She has a book coming out in September?
She has a book coming out in September.
Okay, she has a book. Her ghostwriter has a book coming.
She wrote a book. It's something about, the war. I don't know which one.
Book.
It's a historical fiction, I believe.
Wait, this is a novel?
Yes, a fictional book.
Oh, what? I thought you meant it was like a memoir.
No.
She's not old enough to have a memoir.
20. No. That's a fictional book by Millie Bobby Brown, MBB.
Okay.
Might have to read
Here
it,
we
honestly.
go. My inner history-loving teenage geek clapped her hands in ecstasy at the thought of a historical novel penned by Enola Holmes, and she wasn't disappointed. Huh? Okay, wait. Love blooms in the darkest days. It's 1942, and London remains under constant threat of enemy attack as the Second World War rages on. No. In the Bethnal Green neighborhood, Nellie Morris counts every day lucky that she emerges from the underground shelters unarmed, her loving family still surrounding her. I'm not going to be reading that.
I might. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, let me know how
that
it is.
That comes out in September. Also, I Googled books coming out in September, and there's a ton of Christmas romances. So I was asking the question, when do you start reading Christmas-themed books? Because I feel like September is just too early. I would think those would come out in October or something, but maybe they're just trying to get a long runway.
I don't read that many Christmas themed books in general. I read maybe one or two last year. But I read them in December.
Yeah. If I read them, it's right immediately before or the couple weeks after Christmas actually is probably more popular. So I just thought that was really interesting. There's several Christmas romances coming out in September.
Okay.
So I thought that was
interesting. Odd. And of course, not to be forgotten.
Not to ever be
on
forgotten.
September 12th.
Dear God.
Or what time? September 9th?
I think you're right about the 12th.
When does Jill Duggar's book come out? September 12th, 2023. Yes. Counting the Cost by Jill Duggar Dillard. And we will be book clubbing that episode, and that episode will come out on the 17th.
Yes.
So we are going to be pre-ordering. I've already pre-ordered the book.
Yes, I'm ready.
Well, I pre-ordered the audiobook because I'm going to have to listen to this one.
Yeah. That's good. You can.
So we're going to be doing a quick turnaround and record. So you better listen to the book club episode.
You better freaking listen. Honestly, I'm setting myself up to be disappointed by her revelations, but I have hope that she will give us some actual tea that, has not previously been discussed. So Anyways, either way, it'll be fun to talk about the Duggars, to talk about the horror that has befallen them, and to talk about whatever she writes in her books. So,
yeah. I mean, yeah, we will definitely have a lot to say.
Yes.
Good or bad or mediocre or otherwise.
Yes. So go ahead, pre-order or don't, and just listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
Which is what I think a lot of people did with Spare, by far. Again,
Didn't read
people
it,
still
just
listen to it every week. I still get notifications that people are downloading that episode. So yeah, do that. Don't read it.
Yeah,
listen to
don't
our
read
episode.
it and just listen to our episode. We'll cover it thoroughly on September 17th. So,
yes. So tune in.
Anything else that we need to share before we wrap it up? What else do you have? I
don't think so. Just thank you for a year of listening. If any of you have been here since our very first episode, thank you even more. For everyone else, here's to another great year ahead with a lot more books. I will say, I never would have got to 43 books this year without this podcast. At least
no doubt.
Several of them I read just for this. So
happy to be of help.
Thank you.
All right, love you guys.
Bye. Bye.